a house of horrors in Hamden.
For approximately the last year, Hamden Police has received numerous calls about a stench coming from 200 Blue Hills Avenue.
Investigators executed a search warrant. Nothing prepared them for what they witnessed.
The animal control officers were greeted by several rats. There was a blind owl that was kept in a very, very small cage. We found a dead woodchuck on the floor of the cellar. There was an American Eskimo dog that was brought out of the house that was in grave, grave condition. It was unlivable for both human and animals. It was that disgusting.
In all, 26 cats, 6 dogs, 2 squirrels, and the owl were seized.
I knew she had animals, just not that many, and not those kind of animals.
Arrested is this lady, Donna Scaracco, charged with 6 counts of animal cruelty. Neighbors tell me she used to work to rescue animals. We reached out to the animal advocates of Desmond's Army.
This is probably a culmination of many years. And, you know, people like this, it's sad. They need help.
Neighbors told Fox 61 Donna inherited this home from her father, and it quickly fell into squalor.
This is actually the first time I see our grass cut.
Driving down property values and impacting their quality of life.
When we pass by, it always smells funky, smells like poop.
While filming, a truck pulled up labeled "We Buy Houses, Any Condition." A dumpster sat outside. The roof was tarped.
I hope they just clean it up. I don't want any infestations of rats or anything, so I hope all goes well for her. I hope she seeks treatment.
Donna Scaracco is being held on $5,000 bond. She's scheduled to be in court on February 5th. Hamden police told me some of the animals had to be euthanized. They're trying to find homes for the others, and the squirrels were handed over to the State Department of Energy and Environmental Protection. Reporting in Hamden, Matt Caron, Fox 61 News.